here! Shoot on some—
12 years. The ache is still fresh, like a raw, angry nerve. This isn't about healing. I'm not looking for closure.
When Batman Year One was released in 2011, it arrived as one of the most faithful and grounded adaptations of a comic ever brought to animation by DC. The film drew its inspiration directly from Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli's acclaimed 1987 comic series, which had redefined Batman's origin story for a modern era. Instead of exploring the Caped Crusader as a seasoned hero, this movie delved into his earliest days in Gotham, a time when Bruce Wayne was still learning what it meant to be Batman, and James Gordon was just beginning his life in one of the most corrupt cities imaginable. It wasn't about supervillains, gadgets, or larger-than-life battles. It was about struggle, morality, and the birth of justice in a city drowning in darkness. The story opens with a young Bruce Wayne returning to Gotham after years abroad. He's been gone for a long time, training his mind and body to fight the evil that took his parents from him. But when he arrives, he finds a city worse than he left it, broken by crime, ruled by corrupt officials, and rotting from the inside out. At the same time, Lieutenant James Gordon has just transferred to Gotham City's police department, and he quickly realizes that justice here is nothing more than a word. The cops are on the payroll of mob bosses. The politicians serve their own interests, and the honest ones, like Gordon, are forced to survive in a system designed to crush them. From the start, the film sets a tone of gritty realism, showing Gotham as a reflection of everything broken in human nature. Bruce's journey into becoming Batman is portrayed with remarkable depth. He doesn't instantly don the cape and cowl. Instead, he experiments, fails, bleeds, and learns. There's a haunting scene where he disguises himself to explore the criminal underworld, but ends up getting seriously wounded. It's only after he returns home, nearly dying in his father's mansion, that he has his defining moment when a bat crashes through his window, and he realizes what symbol he must become to strike fear into the hearts of criminals. That moment is quiet, powerful, and poetic, echoing the birth of something larger than vengeance, the birth of a symbol. On the other side of the story, James Gordon's arc mirrors Bruce's in a deeply human way. He's a man fighting to do good in a place that punishes honesty. The film doesn't shy away from showing his personal flaws and struggles. Gordon faces moral temptations, corruption from his colleagues, and threats to his family. Yet his sense of duty never fades. He becomes one of Gotham's few beacons of integrity, and his evolution runs parallel to Bruce's transformation into Batman. Together, their paths eventually converge, creating one of the strongest portrayals of heroism in the Batman mythos, not through superpowers or gadgets, but through sheer determination and belief in doing what's right. The film's animation captures the dark and grounded tone of Miller's art perfectly. Gotham is drenched in shadows and dim lights, with every frame echoing the mood of a noir thriller. The visual style avoids exaggeration. Instead, it focuses on atmosphere's smoky streets, flickering neon signs, and the lonely sound of sirens echoing through the night. This is Gotham before hope existed. Every scene feels weighty and deliberate, allowing the emotion and intensity of the story to breathe naturally. What makes Batman Year One truly stand out is its realism. There are no supervillains, no aliens, no over-the-top stunts, just human conflict, fear, and courage. Batman is portrayed not as a mythic godlike figure, but as a man finding his purpose. His first missions are messy and imperfect. His fights end in bruises and blood. Yet each failure makes him stronger, sharper, and more resolute. It's a story about growth and identity, about how Bruce Wayne learns that being Batman is not about revenge, but about protecting a city that has lost its soul. Selina Kyle's subplot adds another layer of texture to the narrative. The film reimagines her as a woman living on Gotham streets, surviving through whatever means she can until Batman's appearance inspires her to take control of her destiny. Watching her transformation into Catwoman gives the story a raw edge, showing how even in a city filled with corruption, individuals can still find empowerment. The interactions between Bruce and Selina are subtle, grounded, and filled with tension, suggesting a mutual understanding between two broken souls trying to redefine themselves. The voice acting in Batman Year One elevates the film's emotional core. Benjamin McKenzie voices Bruce Wayne, giving the character a restrained yet determined presence. His performance captures Bruce's inner turmoil, the conflict between the man he was and the symbol he's trying to become. Bryan Cranston's performance as James Gordon is nothing short of masterful. He gives Gordon a weary strength, a moral backbone, and a quiet heroism that feels authentic and human. The exchanges between McKenzie and Cranston form the emotional heart of the film, grounding it in realism and intensity. Throughout the story, the pacing remains tight and deliberate. Every moment counts, and nothing feels wasted. Whether it's a silent scene of Bruce preparing his suit or a tense encounter between Gordon and his corrupt superiors, the film builds tension with precision. It doesn't rush. Instead, it trusts the audience to feel the weight of each decision, each consequence. This sense of restraint makes the final moments between Batman and Gordon resonate even more, setting the stage for the partnership that would define Gotham's future. The emotional strength of Batman Year One lies in its honesty. It doesn't glorify violence or heroism. It shows how both Bruce and Gordon are deeply flawed people trying to survive in a world that doesn't reward goodness. Bruce's war on crime begins with personal loss, but by the end, it becomes something greater, a fight for justice. Gordon's faith in humanity is constantly tested, yet he chooses to believe in hope even when it seems impossible. Together, they represent two sides of the same coin, one wearing a badge, the other a mask, both fighting for a city that may never truly be saved. What also stands out is how the film refuses to provide easy answers. Gotham remains corrupt, dangerous, and bleak by the end. The fight isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. But for Bruce and Gordon, this is enough because they found a reason to keep fighting. The movie's closing moments, where Gordon speaks about the arrival of a new criminal known as the Joker, serve as a perfect bridge to the future of Gotham. It's a subtle yet powerful reminder that the battle between justice and chaos will never end, but for now, there's a symbol in the shadows willing to stand against it. The film's score enhances every scene with haunting precision. Its minimalistic orchestration builds mood rather than overpowering it. The music doesn't scream for attention. Instead, it breathes with the story quiet when it needs to be, powerful when the moment calls for it. The tension, sorrow, and quiet triumphs are all accentuated through the sound design, creating a cinematic experience that feels immersive, even in its simplicity. Batman Year One remains one of DC's most critically respected animated films, not because of spectacle, but because of sincerity. It captures the spirit of Batman's myth without the need for fantasy. It's about a man facing the limits of his own humanity and choosing to rise above it. It's about a cop standing against corruption even when he's standing alone. And it's about how both of them, in their own ways, give birth to the legend that would define Gotham forever. What makes this film endure is its timelessness. The story of Batman's beginning has been told many times, but rarely with this much restraint, depth, and emotional truth. It's not just an adaptation, it's a meditation on fear, courage, and what it means to do good in a broken world. The world of Gotham may be dark, but Batman, Year One shows that even in the darkest city, one person's resolve can make a difference. That idea that even in despair there can be hope is what makes Batman's story universal and everlasting. Every moment in this film serves to remind us why Batman matters. He isn't perfect, he isn't invincible, and he isn't always right. But his strength lies in persistence, in his refusal to give up on Gotham, even when Gotham has given up on itself. That's what makes Batman more than a hero. It makes him a symbol of resilience. Batman Year One doesn't just tell the story of how Bruce Wayne became Batman, it tells us why he had to. It's a journey of pain, loss, redemption, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. By the time the film ends, we don't just see Batman, we understand him. We see how fear can be transformed into strength, how loss can become purpose, and how one man's choice can inspire others to stand up. Batman Year One is not just the origin of a hero, it's the origin of hope. And in the heart of Gotham's eternal night, that single light, the bat signal shining against the clouds, becomes a promise that even the darkest city can still find its savior.